name is Dr. Craig Weinston, and tonight's workshop is on sitting, the do's, the don'ts, and anything in between. One of the things that I don't think people really understand is about how important posture is to health and well-being. And the posture really is something that you do for a long period of time. So in our culture, we think of our standing posture, our sitting posture, and our sleeping postures. And we spend often, many people, about a third of each of our life and each of our day in those. So we're going to be focusing on the third that has to do with sitting. How you do things becomes your body. In other words, we're creatures of comfort, but we become creatures of what's comfortable. So whatever we tend to do, our bodies adapt to, and our body becomes molded into that which we do all the time. Tissues in our body, especially in our spine, are often either elastic, which means they're like muscles, which spring and come back to original form, or they can also be plastic, which means there's a little bit of elasticity, but it doesn't fully regain the place that it started from. And ligaments are like this, so they can be overstretched. So when we sit in a position, for example, like this for a long period of time, and all you got to do is go to a classroom or a workspace and see this a lot, our bodies literally start to stretch out ligaments of our spine that never fully regain that. And what that leads to is not just strain of muscles and ligament tissue, but it causes weakness, it causes fatigue, it causes accelerated degeneration or arthritis in the discs, for example, in the spine, which can then put pressure on nerves and result in everything from neck pain to headaches to back pain to nerve-related tingling and carpal tunnel-like symptoms and weakness and a whole host of things. So the things I like to look at is from the bottom up. And the first thing that you want to make sure of is that when you're sitting, that your feet can actually touch the ground. Many people will keep their heels up high. That shortens the muscles in the back of their calf. And it's okay to do anything a little bit. It's just not what you want to do all the time. So you want to be able to be connected to the ground and have those feet flat. And we always want to make sure for our back and for our spine that your hips are at the same level or slightly above your knees, never below. Because what happens is if my hips are below my knees, then for sure I'm heading back this way. I'm sliding downhill, okay? And that is going to put a lot of compression. The more that I round, the more it compresses the spine and the discs, and it causes them to wear out faster. I'll just go ahead and we'll talk more about this, but a gym ball is another nice idea for a chair that at the right height can still have the knees a little bit lower than the hips if you have the right size balls. And it has a lot of benefits as movement, which we'll talk about more. But I also find that most people cannot use this as their only chair, so I like it as a nice secondary chair. So if we work our way up, our feet are on the ground, our hips are slightly above our knees. That allows my pelvis to rock forward and my lower back to have a hollow or an arch in my lower back. That's not excessive, but it's also not rounded. As I work my way up then, if my lower back is relaxed, my shoulders can actually stay relaxed. And they should be relaxed. They shouldn't be up here. Okay? Which means that if I have armrests, which are really helpful, then I don't want those armrests so high that my shoulders are up by my ears. And I don't want those armrests so low, for example, that they're not being supported. As we work our way further up, we have the neck and the head. And this is really important because the average head weighs about as much as a bowling ball, somewhere between 8 and 14 pounds. So when you're holding this bowling ball up, your neck muscles, it matters whether you're carrying your head here or whether you're carrying it here. Because for every inch that head is forward, it adds 10 more pounds of weight to the muscles in your neck and back. So when you look at somebody from the side, ideally the ear should be just over the shoulder and the shoulder should be over the hip. But the more that I do this from the lower back and the more that this goes forward, the more straining it is. Even if it doesn't feel straining when you're doing it, it still is. When we talk about the idea of posture and sitting, it's very important because it's how we age. And we want to age well. We want our spines and our bodies to last a long time. So how we do those simple things, even though they don't seem effortful, sitting doesn't seem like a lot of work, it still can add a lot of strain that causes things to wear down faster.